How can you get Copilot to always use your preferred libraries or frameworks and even apply your own coding style and conventions? This is where we left off in the last video, and this brings us to the concept of GitHub Copilot customization. Have you ever received code suggestions from Copilot that's worked fine, but didn't quite follow your style or use your preferred libraries? In this case, you always often have to go back and tweak the code to fit your required standards, which ends up taking the time that you were hoping to save by using AI in the first place. Luckily, you can transform Copilot from a tool that suggests code to one that can learn and adapt to your coding standards, whether personal or organizational. One way you can customize Copilot to further improve the quality of its output is using custom instructions. In our example, Copilot added tests using Mocha and initialized our project to use CommonJS. But that's not what we want. To fix this, I'll open Copilot and click the gear icon, then select Chat Instructions. I'll then click on New Instruction File, go with the recommended location, and name the file Testing. This will create a testing.instructions.md file in an instructions folder inside the .github directory of my project. This file uses the apply to front matter to specify the file types the instructions here should be applied to. I'll leave these to all files for now, but you can customize this to specific file types as needed. I'll then add the following instructions to the file. We first give some general coding standards like instructions to use Node.js, avoid external dependencies where possible, and keeping the code simple and maintainable. We then add specific instructions for testing, like my preferred framework, just in this case, and some guidelines around writing tests. I'll use the same prompt we used earlier, and what you'll notice is that my custom testing instructions are automatically included in the references, so I don't have to manually pass them in my prompt with every single chat message. We see Copilot already generating code that's up to my standards. It creates the tests directory, creates the separate test file, and initializes the project to use ESM modules and my preferred testing framework. You'll realize that Copilot with my permission runs commands in the terminal, and if you want to follow along with the terminal actions, click the chat terminal at the bottom here, and you'll see the terminal that's hidden by default. Copilot agent mode is autonomously working through the steps needed to complete the task, fixing issues as they arise, all while following the custom instructions we've provided. Our tests are now created following the specific guidelines that we added into our project. But what if you have more extensive coding standards that you want Copilot to follow? Instead of writing your custom instructions from scratch, you can find community-contributed instructions from the awesome Copilot repository maintained by industry experts. From the repo, navigate to Awesome Instructions, and you'll find a variety of both team and project-specific instructions that's spread across different languages, frameworks, and development tasks. Let's assume we'll want to build our project using Next.js and Tailwind. I simply find some predefined instructions for Next.js plus Tailwind development. Click the Install button next to VS Code Insiders, as this is what I'm using, and this will open it. I'll click Yes to continue, select a location for the instructions file, and keep the default name. Now I have a great set of best practices on architecture, styling, state management, performance, and even a small implementation process. You can use this as is or modify it further to suit your needs. Take some time to explore the repository and see if there are any instructions that fit your use case. The last scenario is a case where you have an existing project that's aligned with your preferred development standards, and you want Copilot to follow those same standards when making changes or adding new features to the project. In this case, on VS Code with your project opened, open Copilot Chat, and click the gear icon, then select Generate Chat Instructions. This will send a predefined prompt instructing Copilot to analyze the codebase and generate guiding instructions for AI coding agents. It specifically looks for the project architecture, major components, critical workflows, integration points, and any specific conventions that you've used, and then generates a Copilot instructions.md file based on its analysis. So, To recap, custom instructions allow you to teach Copilot your coding standards and best practices so that it can generate code that aligns with your requirements. This saves you time and effort in the long run. You can create your own custom instructions from scratch, or use community-contributed instructions from the awesome Copilot repository, or you can have Copilot generate instructions based on your existing code base. Try custom instructions today, and happy coding!